With defang the venomous. Two of us thinking there's 10 of us. Can't steal my soul, just my innocence. Hard to let go, hard to live a bit, ooh. Bars ago, man, some Musa spread across the globe. Turn to Montezuma when I find a home. Antetokounmpo, I ain't no hooper. Still got time to ball. Still get to the cheddar like out of loopers. With the whiz working magic, side Michael Coopers. Seen it for what happened like second tutors. On my base steady packing them tidy Rugers. Don't conform to the storm, universal troopers. Jason Bourne thought the foot in the 80s super. Through the
Veganlazy.com. Get all your
sucker.
merch.
Then I serve them a supper like groupies grouper. I say stew and go super chef in the booth and get my flavor. Been nuking Nayoka He's a Pop-Tart.
You part
Pop
now,
artist,
Marcus.
turn the
You
top
part.
gun on your top artist. Red tails and the vintage ass.
Double duties. If you see me in this, if you see us in the same shirts twice, I don't want to hear no bullshit from y'all.
They didn't do their
Right.
laundry. They're wearing dirty clothes.
This is hard though, Megan. Look at this shirt. You've seen it, haven't you? The correct one.
I have.
Yeah, so
They was low key like shitting on it. I see the artistic vision. I'll say that.
Who was shit noted?
It was like there's 4 babies in there. I'm like, no. It's a little artistic, you
Right.
know.
Daddy of the year. They're gonna be like, you got 5 kids?
And I'm repping the proper team.
I agree. Look, I agree. This is an AI background. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's perfect. Google VO3, whatever the hell.
Right.
Chat
All right.
GPT.
So you back with another iteration of the iCast. Your boy Mark J.
Got Power Rashad.
And
I guess May. I'll go by May.
okay, May May. To my kids, she's definitely Aunt May May. May May. May May. May May. The Aunt
Has a
May
ring to it.
has a little you dig. But when I hear Aunt May, I'm sorry, I think of Peter Parker. I think of her. She's praying on the bed,
Finish the prayer.
and then he blows it. He blows it. I'm like, I wish a nigga do my sister. I wish
Please.
I turned into Spider-Man and do
I'll
my
keep
May.
it to auntie.
Auntie. So where you from? Born and raised?
Okay. Introduction. So May is what I'm known to as my nieces, but Megan. From Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm 26. I am a U of L grad. I don't know what's going on with AI, but in the back. But I'm a cards grad, and yeah,
She doubled down with the cards too. 2 degrees.
I
So
did. And a
don't test her
certificate.
elite.
Always a cards girl. I don't know.
Would you get them in again?
My degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So I double majored Spanish and global communication, and then I got a peace, justice, and conflict transformation certificate. So a little bit of everything.
Peace, justice, transformation.
Yes. So it's like peace studies, like mediation, international, like resolution, conflict studies, stuff like that. But yeah, a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of communication, and then like cultural studies, Pan-African studies, peace studies, stuff like that.
We'll definitely get into those experiences later.
Quick question. Could you be a negotiator?
If I got certified, I could. Like I took a couple mediation classes, but it's like a certification you have to go through. So I don't think I necessarily would. A lot of mediators are kind of like old judges, people who were in that space. But it's interesting. But the thing I think about mediation that kind of turned me off is like you have to help 2 sides get to an agreement and you can't really put your opinion in. So it's kind of like you're babysitting low key. It's helping 2 people or 2 sides like get to a resolution, but you can't be biased or put your opinion in it. So it's not as fun as you think it is.
Right. I see. I guess to rewind it before we get all the way to college, why do you think Mazik was so cracking?
It was the people.
Okay, it's the people. Okay, I just want to.
It was the people. It was like I still have friends to this day from Mazik, but it was a good mix of people. You had everyone there. You had kids from all different neighborhoods, from all different sides of the city, like all different backgrounds, income, races. Like I just think it was cool, but everyone got along. I think it was very genuine. I know my fellow Ballard grad is on here, but way better than Ballard. So the experience, no shade, but yeah.
He's pump y'all's brakes. We getting a Ballard.
I will agree. Mazee was a nice melting pot. It had a bit of everything.
I got to Ballard and I was like, y'all doing what? Like, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, okay, okay. Like my mama would never, but okay.
Yeah,
Wild.
I was
Wild.
like, I
I
was
can
talking to someone
confirm.
about this the other day, but I was like, when, your friends invite you over their house after school, you're like, are you sure I could be here? Like, oh, my parents don't care. I'd be like, okay. Not my house, but okay.
You're right. Then
Yeah.
you find out, like, I am going to school with some people with some real
Mm,
money.
Mm.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gus Gunther. Remember
Yeah.
B Fines? It's a real
Real
person.
money.
Man, that's crazy. Who you went? I don't think it was anything. Anybody else I asked. Went to school with Joe Adele. He plays in
I
the league.
did.
That
I
one.
had I had class with him, but he was always off playing. So you might see him, might not.
He popped in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
committed
we're
to.
all, yeah, that was crazy.
I'm trying to think. Q, you didn't go with Q and them was older than her. She went with
My
not
cousin,
Omadric, not Omadric.
Yeah, he
Corian.
was there
Corey.
when I was there.
Corey. Oh, I thought you
I
were.
was in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Mondrick was older than me. Corian was young, like a year younger. So I was somewhere in the middle.
What? So I graduated in 11. You got there in what, like 12 or 13?
I got
Nah.
there in 13.
4,
Yeah.
13? Okay.
Yeah.
And I left in 17.
Yeah.
Okay. So you was there with all three of my cousins, Corey,
Mm-hmm.
Omadric, and
Mm-hmm.
Carry On. Okay.
That's
Yes.
great. You got the full experience.
Yes.
You got the full Douglas experience.
Yeah. We wasn't close. They was
All
all
right.
cool though. They're all cool.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, Ballard was sometimes I liked it, sometimes I didn't. And it's all good though. I think that's just
See,
high school in general.
It is.
see, we had a different experience though, because at Ballard, if you're an athlete, it's a completely different
Yeah.
experience. And I'm not saying like you're not. I'm saying you play basketball or football.
Hmm.
Just to be frank, like it's a
It's a
different
sports school.
experience.
Yeah.
Especially when you were there. Y'all were good in football.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not
You
y'all
right.
good. Y'all good now. But y'all were good then.
Yeah.
So having Devontae,
We put us on the map. Yeah, like for
Hmm.
Ted,
real. I mean,
Paul Perkins, can't even think.
we could go for a while. Like we had athletes.
I know. It was good.
No. But we all went to Coleridge Taylor too.
Shout out to Coris Taylor.
The
Miss
Globetrotters.
Austin. Miss Morgan. I don't know if she had Miss Guerin, but shout out Miss Guerin. Hey, shout out Miss Dr. D.
Doc,
Shout out Miss Dr.
Doctor
Don't
D,
let
Doctor.
don't let her find out she was sub.
Boy,
Dr. D.
boy, she was in there. We was going hard in music.
Yep.
Scary.
And she was going hard back on the keys.
No, for real.
Harder.
Boy, you better get them recording skills down.
What'd you think about Mr. Hep's PE classes?
It was
Did
fun. But I feel like he
this
switched when I was there.
Did he ever have y'all do the cat?
The cat.
Henry? Exactly. No,
Everyone in our grade always thought that was weird.
What?
listen to me
It
real
helped
quick.
help your spinal
The spinal and the hip flexors
stretching.
and shit.
Yeah, hip flexors and spinal shit.
Listen,
You
he had a room full of kids on all fours
like cat
putting a
cow.
hump. Yes,
Yeah.
putting a hump in
Yeah.
our back.
Yeah, it was.
It just, when you look back, it just don't seem right. It just
Now,
don't seem right.
come on, I'm a hot yogi, so don't do that. Do a little
I
cat
mean,
cow.
She's, as I said,
look,
her intersectionality.
yoga's cool. I'm
Something.
just saying, like, we had this man, like, walking around while kids was, I don't know. If I was a PE
Look,
teacher, I'm staying far away from the cat cow. Let's just say that.
First off, he had to make sure we were scoliosis free. Okay. We had to pass.
We
Okay.
did.
0.9% scoliosis rate, the scoliosis pass rate, as Sam would call
Right.
it.
Yeah. Scoliosis is real. I know people who had it. They
That is true.
wasn't doing their cat cows, apparently. No.
Doing their back down. And they wasn't
Obviously.
using their lockers. They was putting everything in their backpacks.
Right.
Look at Megan. They ain't like the locker mate. Remember him, Mazik, when we used to have locker mates?
Hey.
Yes. He stole from me.
Who?
I'm serious. One of my Mazik, like it was this little dude, like, but yeah, I forgot what he stole, but he stole something from me, and I got switched lockers. This was like 6th grade. I was on a different class than y'all
Yeah.
in the
Little
sixth.
dudes, they see somebody big like you, they gotta be passive aggressive.
When I asked him about it, he was like, he looked like a deer in the headlights when I asked him. Well, like, you know me, like I wasn't like a fighting type, not like that. So
Right.
I just kind of was looking at him like, you bitch. I'm sorry, but I was like,
Mazik. I have a 6th grade Mazik for you.
Look, it's
right.
little
So
man syndrome. Leave it alone.
He said, I know, right. I can't beat him up, so I'm gonna steal from him.
Mm-mm.
Shout out Albert E. Shout out Albert.
Right. Right.
It's comedy. All right, fast forward. You avail. So you're talking about your double major experience. Do you have just any college experience that stand out, not even academically related?
Definitely the pandemic. I was in college during the pandemic. I was actually studying abroad in Cuba when it was happening, which was a surreal experience. Like, I had studied abroad to Colombia like the summer before, and then my junior year, spring semester, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Cuba. What an experience! Completely life changing. But I get there January 31st, 2020. Everything was great. And I'm living life. I'm going to the club. I'm going to class. I'm like going and exploring. And then everyone kept talking about the COVID-19, and I was like, that's cool and all, but we're free here. Like, there was no cases. And so people kept talking about it, and there it's like you barely have cellular service. We had to go to like hotels to get Wi-Fi. And so I'm not plugged in. I'm not connected. And like, of course, when I'm talking to family and stuff, COVID-19, that's not here. That's not here. I'm cool. So then I never forget it, March 13th, they're like, oh, well, y'all have to go home. And I was like, why? There are no cases here. And they're like, oh, well, the borders are closing, so you got to leave in 3 days. And I was like, first off, how am I going to get my credits? Like, I had to go, like, class, Cuba's a different place. So my readings for class was in the library by, like, Dewey Decimal System. Like, I will have to go to the library, find the book, Dewey Decimal style, pull it, take pictures
Hold
of
up.
it so I can read it.
Shout out Samuel Covers Taylor. Shout out Miss Ward, our
No, that's the
librarian.
only reason we
Yes.
know
That's
that.
the only
That's
reason
the
I
I
only
was
know.
reason
like,
we
this
know
is a
that.
far pull. Like, this is a far. I ain't done this since the 5th grade.
The
That's
Dewey
right. The
Decimal?
Dewey?
Yes, they had the little card in the book and everything.
We're not talking
Come
about Dr.
on.
Dewey. We're talking about the original.
No,
Exactly. The
no, the
Dewey
note card
Decimal
with the lines
himself.
on it that has a little pocket
Hmm.
in the back of the book. Yeah,
Should be looking
That's
like ratio.
crazy.
it was crazy.
That
I was
shit's
like, am I
crazy.
really doing this for college credit? So the classes were good though. Don't get me wrong. But so then they're like, oh, the borders are closing. So like my friends are like, oh, we're getting kicked out of campus. We don't know when we're gonna go back because they had spring break and then they never went back. And they were like, oh, well, all y'all have to get off campus. And so everyone basically got kicked out of campus. It was crazy. It was like, oh, spring break never ended, but you still got to turn in this porch.
Damn.
Yeah.
Spring break forever.
So
That's
then it was crazy, like just being in school in the middle of the pandemic. I had to come back, and then I get there, had to figure out how I'm gonna get through my credits, and then I start school right after. Then I have to take online school. I have no idea how to do it. Never done it before. So that was like the defining moment. It was almost like your life stopped in the middle of college. So then that was 2020, spring of 2020. So I spent my whole senior year in like pandemic school, which was scary. And then I graduated, and like our class was the first to have a graduation outside. And it was crazy because for another year and a half, like I did not find a job. And then one just fell out of the sky, and I've been there ever since.
So you said it took you a year and a half to get one?
I graduated like magna cum laude, honors, dual degrees or certificate, and had no problem working throughout college. I had multiple jobs. And then I graduated during the pandemic. The job market wasn't the best. So it was the first time I could not get a job. So it took me a year and a half before I started working like in the legal industry.
Did you panic a little bit in
Yeah,
that year?
I panicked. I was broke. I was broke, couldn't get no job. I was depressed. I was like, I ain't got nothing. I'm an achiever. So for me, I was like, oh my God, I have nothing to do. Like, I have nothing to do. Everyone says, oh, it's, I wish I ain't working. But when you're not working, you stressed.
Hey, yo.
You were stressed. So yeah, I didn't do nothing but go to the gym. I couldn't get a job. Like I was eventually studying to go back to school. And then that's when the job offer came. But it was a long time and the job market was trash. So it was crazy.
That's an ugly ass flag.
I agree. I
Damn.
agree.
Is
I
this the
do.
inside of my head or somewhere that voice come from?
Say good night.
Conscious. Good night, Ash.
Y'all enjoy.
All right, good night.
You want me to shut this door for you for real? I just want you to know he's out here in this damn garage in 100-degree heat, and he's using frozen pee bags to keep cool on his feet.
She called you out.
Why you giving us his trading secrets?
I just thought y'all should know it's not gonna make it.
I feel
I
like this
hear a
is a
daddy.
transcript.
Guess you'll know
I hear a
I guess you'll know what will be on this episode's odd text.
right. Wilding out already.
Yeah, wilding. Like shit like that. Anyways,
Mm-mm. Are we sure that's
A year and a half, you get your job, and you say you're still there now.
yes? So I do DEI work, diversity, equity, inclusion. And you might, it might ring a bell because it's what Trump is like attacking right now, among many other things and people. Cough, cough, wink, wink. So I do DEI work, and I did that like when I interned in undergrad. So it was cool. I didn't think I'd go back in it, but my job reached out and they were like, hey, we have a opening you should apply for. And I was like, thank God something fell out the sky. Like, so my first big girl job. So it's been almost 3 years and it's been a long way, but my employer has surprised me in many ways. They're committed to it, but it's really important in the legal field because it is not diverse at all.
so what's your actual role with the firm in that capacity?
Yeah, so my role, it's a lot of things because our department's really small. So there's only one of me per like every 350 attorneys. So we're a small team, but it's a lot of different things. I think people don't understand like what DEI work is. And a lot of people support it despite like what's being said in the news, like 2/3 of employees support DEI. Unfortunately, the policies that we're seeing in the executive orders don't reflect that support. The legal space, the field is it's not diverse. So, like, for example, only 5% of all attorneys are Black. And we know Black people make up about like 12%, give or take, of the population. So we know that like there's a lot of obstacles to becoming a lawyer. It's very expensive, it's time consuming, it's difficult to do. What I do is I help diversify the legal field. I work in private practice, so I work in like the corporate legal space. Our clients are big businesses and most of them are corporations and big businesses who need like a team to help them with their legal work. So I do a lot of different things. I do like cultural competency in education. So we'll have workshops, we'll have external speakers come in, we'll have trainings. We also do a little bit of client surveys. So the corporations that are our clients, one way they hold us accountable is like they'll give us surveys and they want to know how diverse is our organization. They want to know like who's working on their matters and how diverse is that team sometimes, or they'll ask, what are we doing in this space? So it's partly that, it's partly working with affinity bar organizations. So there's like the National Bar Organization that was started targeting like and supporting Black attorneys. There's the LGBTQ plus bar association. There's a Asian American and Pacific Islander bar association. So we'll sponsor conferences, we'll participate in their programs, and it's an exchange. So you get to meet lawyers on the other side, try to get business. We support business professionals too, the non-lawyers, which is not a good term, but they often don't get as much respect because they don't bring in revenue for the firm. So they're kind of treated sometimes like second class citizens. So help support them. We support our community work. So any pre-law high schools or programs, we'll work to partner with them, sponsor them, bring them to our offices, educate them, give them work, internships, things of that nature. So it's a little bit of everything. Like also teaming up and doing like some targeted recruiting, holding events, and then we do data, how much work each person is getting, and we can break it down and see each group and then see any gaps and then help fix that. That was a lot, but yes, a little bit of everything.
Y'all diversify the field. Y'all level out the playing field. Y'all add resources and meet people who meet the qualifications but may not have all the resources. I heard the summer intern or the intern y'all have high school, Central, somebody from Central in their pre-law. It's actually interning there. So damn, y'all do a lot. That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
sounds like a lot of responsibility in one group of people, let alone one.
Yeah, so we're a small but mighty team, which is pretty average for the industry. You also team up with like our other departments, whether it's like marketing or recruiting, things of that nature. Sometimes we try to be like consultants, and help them to have inclusive practices and things of that nature. I also work with like our affinity groups, affinity networks and organizations, what some people call ERGs or employee resource groups. I work with them a lot too.
So it's not just lip service, like y'all really out here,
Yes, yeah. And I think a
helping.
lot of people don't know exactly what we do. And I think a lot of people see the events we put on and don't know everything that we do, that we're working internally, that we're working with clients and all of that. So it's a mixed bag.
But wait, there's more. Her and her team created the Friend D mobile app, designed to support individuals experiencing cognitive impairment, known as CI, as well as their caregivers, healthcare professionals, and family members. Available in an app store near you, Friend D combines mind exercises, information tracking, and assessment tools to help manage and potentially slow or reverse the progression of CI. The name Friend D blends the Greek word for brain, friend, with the concept of a friend, symbolizing the app's goal to be a supportive companion in brain health and health.
You kind of explained to us what a day in your shoes is
Yeah.
like. That's what I was
It
going to
could
ask.
be anything. Yeah, it could be anything. We also do like observances and heritage months, cultural holidays. So like July is Disability Pride Month. We just ended June and that's Juneteenth and that's LGBTQ plus Pride Month. So trying to have events and things of that nature, external speakers, workshops. So we do that too.
So representation and demographics and make sure no stone is unturned.
And try to keep a pulse of our employee base, like how they're feeling, if they feel supported, if they feel like they belong, if they have the resources that they need to succeed. So it's quite a bit of things.
We spoke earlier about Trump doing, everything he's doing. Is there any? Do y'all have any fear that like, oh, they'll come for that your department one day?
Yes and no. We are pretty safe, right? What's being communicated is that DEI is illegal, and that's not true. There are certain things after, like the Supreme Court's FFA decision that certain practices are illegal. If someone applies to your program, you can't give them a boost because they're a person of color. So stuff like that is illegal, but a lot of people think all DEI is illegal, and it's not true. But law firms are being targeted. There is a federal email where you can report any firm and get them investigated for like their DEI work. A lot of the largest firms in the nation have been targeted, and you'll see it's all over the headlines. Certain law firms have made deals, have been investigated, and the investigations are kind of crazy because they're asking for documentation, and they want people's personal information, if we're being real. It's kind of crazy too to see that some of the firms have straight pro bono deals. So pro bono work is basically free legal work, and they encourage attorneys to do pro bono as like an ethical part of their practice. So what we're seeing is law firms who are getting investigated, which haven't been all, but most of the larger ones, we're kind of seeing a divide, and some of them are making pro bono deals, like tens of millions of dollars worth of free legal work to the administration. And some are fighting it in the courts. Like we see Perkins Coie is one firm that is challenging those investigations and taking it to court.
What are you forecasting in those instances?
Yeah, it's very nuanced, and it's hard to say. And like I myself, like I'm not an attorney, I support attorneys, but it's hard to say because we're in the middle of it. So who knows what the end result will be. But what we're seeing is the firms that are taking the pro bono deals. A lot of them, the trend is that those are more transactional firms, so they do a lot of contracts. You can be an attorney and never go to court a day in your life. What we're seeing is firms that are more transactional like that are less likely to go to court, and firms that have big litigation practices are more likely to challenge the investigation and go to court. It has a very real impact because as a firm, as any attorney, like you have attorney client privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, like if you are under investigation and you're giving away information, then that's a big red flag to your clients because you want to make sure your information is secure. And these aren't small clients, these are huge,
Very big.
multi-million and billion-dollar companies. So it's a split down the line. When you see things like all these Supreme Court cases and you see a lot of the administration's policies going to court, those things are important because now we know that the administration has hundreds of millions of dollars in free legal work that they can, and who knows how and when they'll use it, but it's there now.
So my fear when I hear you say that is whether or not even the current administration wins in what they're trying to do, is it a win just enough of peeking into competitors, whatever it is, information wise, portfolios, what's really going on behind the network, and then they can use that to their advantage business
Hmm.
wise, private sector wise, in order to, you know.
And you don't know what they're going to do with the information. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see because it's like even if you don't win the litigation battle through the investigation of the like firm, to your point, you could still get information. So it's almost like a lot of it is, you know,
Illegal
mhm.
illegal data leak.
Look, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are afraid too because they go into a lot of DEI practices about who got this type of diversity fellowship or internship, things of that nature. And essentially, like, you want names, you want demographic information, you want to know how they identify. And that's very sensitive data, whether it's about a client, a powerful client, or about some of the best attorneys in the nation.
So you're saying now when I check the boxes, race, I prefer not to say.
Hmm.
Sexuality, gender, I prefer not to say. Just, just,
Yes.
just, just cover my. You feel me?
Yeah, so and that's why it's important. That's why it's important, to look at your organization and to see like where do they stand on these issues. And, to your point, like when we talk about demographic information, it's the box that you check and it's like, what race are you? What gender are you? Like, do you identify as LGBTQ plus? And like, do you have a disability? Like all of those, what we call marginalized communities who are under attack and at risk. That's very sensitive information. And
Right,
people like us rely on um, like voluntary self-identification. So now you have a lot of people who are intimidated and
right.
don't want to show up in the workforce or give that information now. So it's effectively silencing some people too.
So then you're not even representing. You're not even. You can't be yourself. This.
Hmm.
If we
And
want to
you,
cut it
yeah,
short and get right to the root, you can't be yourself, and then you can't be yourself at work.
exactly. And that's the opposite of what my job is. And then the scary part too is that like I feel like one of the most populations at risk are immigrants because they can revoke your visa based on like, okay, a lot of people are scared that if they get involved with our work that and they're an immigrant that like their visa will get revoked, which is crazy. So then it's like, even though most of the workforce supports it, now there are pockets of the workforce that are scared to be involved with it. So,
Right. And then branching out on that, Kentucky is being sued or at the federal level where they're saying undocumented high school students can't get college tuition. That's actively something that's going on. We're getting
hmm
sued. Even on the Harvard tip, even on
hmm
we've seen at the college level some form of the Asian
hmm
demographic who's getting blackballed on that tip when it comes to their access to education. Is that just all in the bigger, you know, sphere of action of what this current administration seems to be doing?
yeah, that's a line. I think too, like higher ed is getting hit really hard. Like DI is getting hard, but higher ed is getting hit really hard. They are getting hit harder because the thing is, if you're private employers, you can't enforce in as many rules. A lot of too what makes you more susceptible to getting investigated is if you're a federal contractor because they've effectively cut off funding for federal contractors that are involved with DEI. House Bill 4 that came down effectively banned DEI.
This past week in public universities, I think we talked about that last episode for a second.
Yeah.
But
So,
so is that because they're federally funded to a certain
mhm.
so for them it's like nah, bro, we had to do that.
Yeah, I
Like
need my
nah,
money. Yeah.
because you're in the private sector. So like you said, if my contracts don't lie in the hands of the federal government, then effectively you really. So that's where you see the line when it comes to DEI work right now. Effectively,
Yeah.
it's like public sector versus private sector, where private sector is still surviving and public sector is like
Yeah, and the investigations have been definitely putting the private sector at risk, but there's a big divide. If your money's coming externally, then you're less at risk. But for higher ed in like colleges and universities, like they have been taking definitely the brunt of the hit. Universities like Harvard that have like a large immigrant population, or just a large international student population.
right, right.
You know, it's it's a lot riskier.
It's crazy. It's random thought, but it makes me think of the Griner's mom. She spoke.
Syracuse.
She taught English to students who came over here on their visas. What
Hmm.
was it teaching?
Where was she teaching at?
She was teaching at U of L. Her and the dad Paul was
I feel
both.
like they were. I know they came from Syracuse. I feel like
They
she was
did. They
there
did.
before.
She was.
Okay.
I don't know if she taught there, but she taught here.
Some months ago, I was talking about that article where kids at Michigan in the middle of class found out their DE had like scholarships and grants and stuff were getting
Hmm.
taken like just in the middle of class. It
Yeah,
made me think about that.
there's experiences like that, even talking to students where like their funding got lowered, but that wasn't really communicated why. So then you're looking at why is my scholarship less? Why am I not getting my scholarship? And that could be a reason too. But to your point, they're not really being proactive or communicating that, so it leaves a lot of people vulnerable who, really need that money.
And this is where something me and Rashad go on about probably every other episode is how Trump, when he's playing New World Order poker, his cards, he loves to push in the marginal chips. He loves to push
Hmm.
in the marginal chips. And we talk about, Obama this, Obama that. You can be on one side of the fence or other.
Hmm.
He tried not to use the marginal chips. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
he did sometimes, but he tried not to was the point because at the end of the day, you got to go back to those marginal communities. That's your rooted fan
Hmm.
base, and you can see the total opposite, and then you see why are Black people affected? Why are Latinx community, Asian community, Pan Asian community, what Asians, South Africans? We can go on, you know what I'm saying? So that was a very roundabout conversation about DEI. That was
Yeah,
pretty.
it's a scary thing because it's like you go for the people who are easier to attack, and then some people feel like they're safe, but eventually you're gonna be next. It's one group after another. So
Yep.
it's a surreal thing to watch.
So when things get stressful and you unwind, hold
Hmm.
on. To even switch this in, we're fans of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark both.
Okay.
Angel Reese, people make fun of her because she misses her shots and gets the board, but it is what it is. Fastest woman in WNBA history to 600 points, 600 rebounds. I'm pretty sure. But anyways, let me get to the point.
Okay.
She termed me bounds, not rebounds. They're me bounds. She got that
Okay.
trademark, and I liked it at first, but then I'm like,
Hmm.
still in my sister's sauce. So what's a meekin? Tell us what's a meekin.
Okay. Meekin. A Meekin helps prevent burnout, right?
Okay,
And totally made up. I made it up. I should probably talk to one of our,
I
people
want
with
that
this
on a t-shirt.
trademark.
Yeah, I
I,
want that on a
I
t-shirt.
Real.
Weekends at Maze. That's hard. Like
hey,
weekends at Bernie's. Meekin.
Yeah.
but it
For
sounds
real,
better.
you gotta get that trademarked.
Might have to write.
I know someone who could do it. But so Meekins, like, they just help me prevent burnout. So I'm an introvert. Like, if you know, you know. Everyone knows. If you know me, you know. So I just get really burnt out easily. So, how some people have self-care days. I have a whole weekend. Like from Friday when I get off till like Monday when I clock in, you will not hear from me. Like, you will not see me. You will not hear from me. I'm not doing nothing but really laying in bed. Take myself on a date, might go to the park, might chill in a hammock, might just lay in bed and just like binge watch shows all day. But the point of a weekend is to get rest and like real rest, not the like, oh, well, I still have to run errands or, well, I'm gonna do my laundry. I'm not doing shit. Like, I'm not doing
You
chores. I'm not doing laundry. Don't call me. I'm not talking to you. I'm not answering the phone. Like, it's just a way to recharge. And like, I try to do one every month or two, but it's just a way, it's just quiet time to recharge and to have a little self care and to like do real rest, not active rest or nothing. Just like straight up real. That's how I prevent myself from burnout because like I get grumpy and like I'll just get really burnt out. So that's fundamental to like me. I just need that.
You hear that? That's all that DEI lifting she's doing.
You know,
I used to harp on that all the time about like real rest and hustle culture and stuff.
really,
It's like,
rest is
yeah, go
resistance.
no for like you need that. Like you go after what you want. When I'm like decide I'm resting. Like I'm legitimately gonna lay in bed. I might play the
Hmm.
game.
You're gonna
That's
live
about
longer
it.
though, shit. Like men. That's why men don't live as long as women because we think that shit's as weak as this. Now I'm gonna keep getting money. You need a spiritual reset. Your body need a that.
It does.
All that stuff.
And the sad thing, like with men too, is a lot of the times they get their like value or their purpose from providing, which is great, don't get me wrong, like you want to be a hard worker, but with men especially, they cannot sit down sometimes. Like they resist just resting and kind of feel like their value comes from how much they can produce or how productive they are, or how much they can give and provide, which is great, but sometimes, that has its downsides too. So, that more men do need to rest. Like take it, chill too. Y'all deserve a little break too.
I do. I don't have no problem. Go
No
ahead. Go ahead.
guilt,
I'm
no
sorry.
shame. You ain't
Yeah.
got to
You said bet. All right then. He said Meekin.
Yeah, right.
He put a Meekin down next month. Nigga, you already told her. She didn't even
the
know.
little
She
eye
she just got
cover.
it on. She got it on the shirt calendar. She didn't even know. She knows about
Exactly.
Meekin.
What?
What?
Just know if I'm on D&D for 3 days straight, just know.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
Meekin.
Yeah.
That's what you need a shirt. Five.
Mm-mm.
How do you know it's a Meekin D&D for 3 days? They're gonna be like, it's crazy.
Right.
Don't answer. Don't pick up. My
Um,
location ain't changed.
that's crazy.
You were saying something about how you get through something.
How I get over the hill? Someone told me. Well, it's two things. Shout out to my bros, Juice Daddy. Now they're two brothers. Juice Daddy, go follow them on Insta. This is their poppy, pineapple, strawberry, cucumber, watermelon, and lime. And this one is their stepdaddy. Apple, celery, lemon, kale, ginger. It's a sweet with earthy taste. You can get orders from them online. You can pick them up. You can see them at the farmers market. They're at both the St. Matthews and the New Albany farmers market on Saturdays. Just tap in with them, man. One, now that you got the family and stuff, like emotional stability, house full of
Mm-hmm.
women, emotional stability, things like that. You need those things, and those are tools you use, and you can't have that shit if you ain't got rest.
Because everyone has a parent where it's like when they in a bad mood, like the
Families
whole
and
house is in a bad mood, like it just get
Walking on
dark when they walk in.
eggshells.
you're
Yeah,
like,
they just
wrong?
get
What's wrong? Oh, they in a bad mood. Oh shit. We
dog.
used to be like, we're staying downstairs.
Right, right. My door will be closed. I don't want no smoke.
Right.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He
Because
said,
I
smoke
know
smoke
myself.
rises, and you upstairs.
No,
Right.
for real.
You're like, something feels a little different in the air. I
Yeah.
don't know. Just come
Ain't
home with a
ain't no
bad
meals been
attitude.
made today. Ain't no meals been made. Ain't
Right.
nobody came out their room. They get
You
Fend for
can
quiet.
feel
yourself.
it in the air.
Boy,
Yes. You're like, is so and so home? Because it just feels a little different.
Yeah.
of a black household. Not even a black one, but
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I have enough self-awareness to know when I'm about to burn out and I'm just like, why am I in a bad mood? Because I'm tired. And
that's most
sometimes
of
you
our
need, yeah, and like I don't want to spread my bad mood to other people, so I'm like, I just need to rest and get away and recharge and hide a little bit
me
or a
too.
long bit. Yeah.
I'll crash out by myself before I crash out with other people.
Yes. Yes. And I don't like the people who like try to get you in a
Try to
good
crash,
mood. No,
try to give you a
no.
ride, try to give you a ride till they crash out.
Everybody's
Yes.
coming down with me.
They be
Yes.
trying to be
Like,
what's my boy Eeyore and shit. Nigga, they be trying to get
Yeah.
on this shit.
yeah, like you cannot put me in a good mood. No one can. Like, you about to be in the line of
Right.
fire yourself.
Right.
Just let me come back around myself. I'll be all right.
Right. And then the other thing I was gonna say was, for men especially, you have to allow yourself to be part of the family. So if everyone else has these rules where it's like you need more rest, you need to take this. That applies to you. You're part of the family, nigga. Like you're not Superman and everybody else is just a citizen. Like
Um,
you rest too, nigga. So I think that helped me a lot. Where it's like you're not above the family. Like that's you trying to be above the family. Like good or
mm-hmm,
bad, you need to be a working part of the family. Maybe you need to show your kids what it looks like,
mm-hmm.
things like that, and maybe you will live, a little longer.
Because
Yeah,
y'all get moody too. So, everybody needs to chill out. Everyone
yeah.
just needs to
Very true.
take a break.
What was I gonna say? So when you're not meekening, oh yeah. Speaking of a weekend, how was Pride?
Pride was good. It was hot. It was hot. I don't
What was
know.
shit? I
I
don't know
don't
why
know
you
why
was
the gays and the girls picked the hottest year of the month, but it was
girl shit,
good.
real hot girl shit.
A little too hot, but it's always good. It's like I've been walking for 2 or 3 years now. And walk, show support. I always like it because it like just kicks off the day. People are out lined up downtown. They're excited. We're giving out like gifts and beads and fans and flags and like all types of stuff. Water too, because it'd be hot. You get to give stuff to the people who are there, like paraphernalia and like just like pride gear and
Mm.
stuff. They're excited, like it gets you pumped up, and then they get to carry that throughout the day. But it's just nice to give them something to wave around and just like have fun with and take throughout the day or keep throughout the year. So it's always cool to see families out there, like people bring their pets, their kids, and just like supporting each other. It's just a lot of love, like really.
Is there any like certain thing that stood out this year for you besides the heat?
This year, say there was anything like very different from the years previous. It's pretty much all the same, all love. There's always that one like super Jesus like man who stands out there and like shames everybody. But it was cool to show out and show support, and it's interesting to like it's great to see that because when you look at going back to like DEI and like when the people who pull out of certain programs, we've seen like the biggest number of people pull out from programs that support the LGBTQ plus community.
Mm.
So it's nice to see people come and support their family members and their friends and their kids, and it's a community of love despite like
That's
all the hate that it gets. Yeah.
that's something to be, to aim for and commendable always to put love first, despite
Mm-hmm.
with any family. That's the golden rule. If you
Right.
to make it as a family for real, or a community, or whatever group of people.
And
Shit.
that community exemplifies like you choose your family chooses you, like at the end of the day. So yeah, it was all
Yeah.
love.
What are you gonna say?
I think it's just important, like in any like setting, to like just be supported. I know, the community has some of them have a rough life. I mean, let's just be honest. So like just to have people around you to support you
Cheer
in your
you
lifestyle,
on,
whatever. Yeah,
celebrate you,
that's yeah.
who you are to your fullest, and then let you be it. That's a big
Yeah.
deal. That's in any
And
community.
whether people like it or not, more and more people are identifying as such. I've seen stats that like a fourth or like a third or fourth of Gen Z identifies as like LGBTQ plus. So, it's a lot more widely accepted with like the younger generations than the older ones. So, it's important for employees to go out and show that they support their community and that it's safe to be a part and just like work there. So, a lot of people take that serious to know what employers are kind of safe to apply with. But it's important. It's important because I think that just means it's a lot safer to be who you are than in the past. So it's a good sign.
Yeah. Speaking of safe communities, shout out to our church, Northeast Christian, because during Pride Month, they did give a sermon about sexuality and what that looks
Mm,
like a Christian, and how even though the Bible is what they follow most, don't let that ever stop you, like we just talked about, in supporting your brothers and what supporting them looks like in communities where they're still chastised, like you said. They're still
mm-hmm.
not supported. They're still attacked. They're still so. It was interesting. So anyone who might want to see the intersectionality, about to look
Mm-hmm.
at Northeast Christian Church. Shout out Tyler McKenzie. So and then
Yeah.
after all the seriousness, or after all the seriousness, me and people at work were arguing who was dressed less, the men or the women.
Well, definitely the men.
That's what we all
As in,
say.
like, who got less clothes on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
men. The
Okay, that's what we.
men.
Yeah, that's what we try to tell them, man. That's what I'm like. That's
So
first.
it's definitely the men. Oh yeah. I mean, like it's a family friendly environment, but you will see cheeks. You will see cheeks. You'll see leather. Why are you in pleather?
In that heat?
That's what.
Yes,
In that heat?
yes, yes.
That's
Pleather
godlike energy, right?
and go-go boots. I saw pleather and go-go boots. I'm like,
Whoa,
you win. You
that's
win.
commitment. That's
You
perseverance.
win.
That's all the things your
You
coaches
win.
tell you. Woo.
That's condensation right there.
Hey, speaking of that, so then they have Natasha Bedingfield. They have Natasha Bedingfield, right? And I'm like, it's the hottest day, and she's out here singing "Feel the Rain on Your Skin." And I'm like, this
Where?
don't even make no sense. This don't
Where
even
is
make.
it? Please.
Niggas is doing the rain dance trying
A
to pick up
ritual.
the Bedingfield and shit. This shit's crazy. This shit's
Mm-mm.
crazy.
Wow.
I saw a nigga in pleather with his cheeks out
Mm-hmm.
doing the rain dance to Natasha Bedingfield singing singing
Like, come
"Feel
on.
the Rain on Your
Yeah.
Skin" as Saucy Santana's warming up.
Look,
Crazy.
it's a very magical place. A very magical place.
That
A
sounds like
lot can
Disney World.
happen.
That
That's
sounds
what
like
I'm saying.
you bless Disney
Very
World.
magical. Very
A lot
magical.
can happen.
Where dreams, that's crazy. Shit, that's crazy. I was gonna say something crazy, but I'm not gonna say it. Some, some about dreams and not rain on the skin and
Never mind. See,
Like
I'm
dreams
thinking,
and
I thought you.
nightmares?
Exactly. I was about to say, I know you ain't talking about me. Leave him alone, bro.
Hey, I've seen Meek in person.
I'm not gonna
Meek
lie, I would
Millie.
set the city off. Talk
Meek.
about that would be the most diverse pride anyone has ever seen.
You want to up his Diddy accusations. Like, I'm just being
Let's not
real.
talk about it. Let's not talk about
They
it.
go, I'm
We
talking about
have
Meek Mill.
videos
See,
on the
I was
boat.
trying to leave him alone.
On the boat, on the boat,
I
everybody.
was trying to leave him alone.
Look.
But
I'm not bringing up Diddy. I'm
You
done.
know, you know what
I,
Nikki said.
what
What
she
Nick?
say?
Do you remember her song where she was like grilling everyone? It was like dun dun I gotta find
Yeah,
it.
yeah, but I don't remember what she said about Meek though.
This is news to me. I'm interested.
You
It's probably
you've heard it.
now
Okay.
we can't go off pride and then jump right into
Right into to the,
someone who is what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? When you use gay to like to diminish somebody.
I'm sorry.
see. This is. Let me try to explain this. I don't want to offend anyone, but look, I literally have. I don't care. Do what you do, whatever it is. It's when you are actively portraying this, but you're doing this.
Yeah,
So
because
it's not more so I'm attacking you. I mean, I guess someone could see it that way, but I'm not trying to offend anyone that's
no,
gay. I'm just saying, like, nigga, be you. You trying to be the toughest on this side, but on this side you're
right,
doing
right,
this.
right,
Like, just
right.
be
You try
you.
to identify with such toxic masculine things while not vehemently being against gay people, and then it's like you have a closeted sexuality, and it feels like that your whole way that you move would be disrespectful to what you are. So it's like that's the part where I think niggas, because that's the way I always felt. But I'm like, then me like getting more like, don't make somebody's situation what you think it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They come out at their own time and they do this and that. Yeah, but at the same time, you can actively be perpetuating, you know, something that seems to be going against what you truly identify with, and you fake identify with. Then it's disrespectful to the community.
Yeah,
It's just be a
it's
lie.
layered.
It is a fine line though, but
It is.
I don't mean any offense, even though I'm sure someone could take offense. I don't mean it that way.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
long way of. Yeah.
It's layered because you have people who feel like they're not safe, so they can't be who they are.
Yeah,
But then you
Man,
have, like, some of it, you have some people who might have a little, grown up in a certain environment, were taught certain things and have a little
yeah,
self-hatred. But then, like, also as a black woman, it's important to be like honest too, because, if when you're dealing and you're, sexually active with people, a lot of black women are more susceptible to getting STIs and
STD. Yep.
STDs. And like even in our, like, especially HIV, and a lot of times can get it from men who, didn't aren't, out with everything that they're doing. So it's a very complicated, like, nuanced issue. You should always strive to be honest, but a lot of people feel like they're not safe. So it's hard.
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, I do. I get. I know what I just
Hmm.
said, but I understand that as well. It's just like
It's
that's
like
a
don't
tough thing
but
to
it's
just
like don't be out here saying I'm standing up for black rights, and then you ain't standing up for LGBTQ rights, you puss ass nigga. Nah, I was playing.
right, right. So I get it though. It's tough. I mean,
It's easier to be black, then, right? It's easier to be black. I don't want to say that, nigga. That'll get me in trouble.
it's.
That'll get me in trouble.
I think you can understand where someone's coming from just because of those situations. You know what I mean? Like they're comparable. She'll be able to, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah. It's giving Ted Lasso. I just watched that episode of Ted Lasso.
Which is that the latest season or something?
I don't know. I see there's season 2 or 3, but just like, especially in the sports room, I don't know if y'all watch it or not. But
oh, I ain't.
I only got to season 3 though. I only finished season 3.
then,
I
you've
have to put it
probably
on my
seen
list.
this when one of the players, he's basically in the closet on the team.
That was a really good episode.
Yeah.
That was emotionally. That was I like Colin. I really do.
Yeah.
So
So.
that was hard. That's a good show. That's just a
Hmm.
good heartfelt show. Make you feel good about the world or something. Lil
Yeah.
Colin. He plays his role good on that show. I like all of them though.
Yeah. I do. I do. I do. I
I
like
like just
all of
black dude dating the owner. His daddy coming in town talking
them.
about Joe
Yeah.
LaFrice. We just talked about. That's what he was. He opened a whole restaurant in England. I think niggas was being all kind of. I don't. I can't remember. This shit was crazy. Nigga was
Mm.
getting extorted by his own government back in Africa. This shit was crazy. It was good. It was good. So
I don't know how much time you got. I just got like a couple things. I give
Okay.
Mark I give Mark J some updates on technology and random
Oh yeah,
shit
I have
like that.
time.
So all right.
I
one
might
thing I
have
was
to
gonna do
grab
is
my charger, but I'm good.
Okay. All right. So Neuralink, I'm sure you're familiar. This says like 7 people have it now. Would you get it?
I'm not
That Elon
familiar.
Musk? Okay.
Absolutely, I won't get anything that has his name on it. Not a Tesla, not a Tesla, not a Link, not a rocket,
link,
not a
not a
spaceship.
sausage link, not a Neuralink, not a
Nah,
sneaky
if
link.
all your products blow up, no thank you.
listen,
But it's true. That shit catch you
listen.
off guard.
Why do all your products blow up?
Spontaneous combustion.
Combustion.
No, you're not about to run me off a cliff.
So their first reaction, him and B5's first reaction, they both said no. But it was talking about in the article like
People with
people,
disabilities,
yes,
epilepsy.
it helped. Like, let's say you can't, you're paralyzed, your legs are paralyzed, but you can
Hmm.
use this
Let's just
machine that like is linked to your brain. Would you do it?
Why is Elon? No, no, I don't trust Elon. I don't trust Elon. He already wants all of our information. Like, no, I'm not. It plus it probably is self explode like his cars and his spaceships. No, no, I'm not being a test. No, absolutely not. Like, I'm all for innovation to help people with disabilities, but I don't trust it. No.
Okay. All right. This one,
Mhm.
we're going to conspiracy corner a little bit.
okay.
Okay.
What I'm going to tell you is real, but the question is kind of conspiracy based. When we go
Okay.
conspiracies, we call it conspiracy corner. So,
Because you got to meet us
Okay.
there.
Okay,
all
I can
right.
do that. I'm an Aquarius, so that's what we do.
Okay. So, great. DARPA. So, wireless powered beaming over 8 kilometers, that's like 5 miles, a little over 5 miles, has been achieved. Specifically, the DARPA's power program successfully transmitted over 800 watts of power across 5.5 miles using a high energy infrared laser. This represents a new record for power beaming over distance, according to DARPA. Do you think that's new technology? Are you like, have you heard all the conspiracies that like the what's it called, the pyramids? They were using stuff like that. Have you ever heard?
No.
I thought
Like
What was you
Egyptian
about to say?
pyramids?
Yes, that's
like that
like
they
the
had
thing.
some kind of not
Like they
equipment,
had
but
harnessed
something,
it.
some type of technology that could. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, go ahead with this because I don't want to mess it up. There's two ways though that they were talking about it.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Like that. I ain't got
Basically,
too much.
you basically lifting it up, but one was saying that they were rubbing vibration so fast, like put a you know tablecloth and then set the table and then you snatch the tablecloth off real quick and everything still stays there, right?
Okay.
Or imagine like doing something like that super fast, just super fast over and over, and then creating like enough friction that even there's atmospheric friction to where you don't have to lift something up that's super heavy. It almost lifts itself up.
So this is something that is occurring now, or the advancements like happening now?
So
The
I'm
laser
gonna try to
technology,
explain my train of thought. So you got what he's talking about. You got the pyramids. They're saying that they were using some form of wireless
shit.
Wi-Fi, basically.
You
You
talking
got
about
Tesla.
Tesla? That's what I was about to say. Okay.
Tesla was like he was doing that, like his experiments where he was
Freaks.
but without any cords, like beaming something to something else. So that's what they're saying they've done
Tesla
over
coils.
5 miles, right? Stuff like that. I'm saying basically there's this thing saying that like the government and stuff like that is always 50 years ahead of us.
When it
Do
comes
you
to
think they're slow dripping that to us and they're like, all right, it's time to put that out now? Or is this literally brand new and they're just like, all right, this is new, let's give it to them?
what
So
you think,
is this about connectivity, or is this about like a energy source or any
They're
of it?
using they're
they're
using
using
right
it to
now
transfer
laser.
watts, right? Amounts of energy, correct?
Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna answer.
And it ain't
Okay.
gotta be right or wrong, it's just what you feel.
No, I have thoughts on this. Let me grab my
Charger.
charger really quick.
Are you good?
Man, get you some big and lazy Crocs, man. Big and lazy. I'm definitely gonna. I'm gonna order me. I'm gonna order
How
me.
you a big stepper and you ain't got these Crocs? That's what
Man,
you got.
get you some lemon pepper big steppers, man.
Lemon pepper big steppers.
Yeah.
My man's bigandlazy.com. My man's the brands.
That's a good tease. What was I gonna say? Direct energy weapons.
The mind scrambling, the like man, I feel like this shit been made, bro, and they ain't just like getting it. You know what I mean? And if they did just make it, you think they're gonna give it to us quickly or let us even know about it quickly?
Do you think it takes away bullets though in the future?
I mean, yeah, you see Star Wars, they shooting saber or
Oh yeah.
lasers at each other and stuff.
Oh, a dude made a plasma pistol. A dude made a plasma pistol, homemade.
So it's
White
shooting
dude,
plasma.
bro. It loads up like a Halo weapon.
What would it do to
Boom,
somebody?
boom. Nigga, he destroys. What would it do to somebody?
Yeah, like I'm scared to even
I'm
know.
I'm gonna try to find it for you, man. If not, try to find it yourself too. But a plasma, it's like a plasma pistol or a plasma rifle. That motherfucker loads up. It's uses this energy. He harnesses this energy. It's just very like what's the word I'm looking for? Compact and condensed like into this little. I don't know.
What is it drawing plasma from?
I don't know what source of energy he's using for it.
I don't know
Homemade.
the sorcery.
It's like those potato guns people used to use. Imagine
Yeah.
that just with an like with some kind of form of energy where he's literally I don't know he's somewhat of an engineer so he's doing something. It's not just whatever, but what he's using is very simple to harness it, and it's just boom and just I mean I don't know how to explain it. I guess he put a trash can up there one time, destroyed the trash can. It looked like it got hit by Kimbo Slice.
Mike. So it's putting a hole in something. It's not just obliterating it.
It's not obliterating it, but it's like it looks like a phantom Hulk punch. It looks like a Hulk punch, just a ghastly Hulk punch just coming out of nowhere. And just boom. All right, we're back with
Okay.
MAETV.
Okay, I'll take it. So here's why I wouldn't be surprised, right? So we need more power sources. Like we don't have enough power in our power grids right now because AI has gotten so big and AI uses a ton of energy, like tons more energy than a Google source. So now, like one thing I've noticed too is like people are trying to build more power grids because we literally don't have the energy source to support all of the AI that we're moving towards. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're experimenting and trying to find new energy sources because we the energy that we're consuming and that we're using eventually is just gonna increase, and we don't have the power grids for it right now.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think like I would definitely believe in that 100%.
You see,
That's
Kentucky got an AI task force to prevent things like that from happening to our state.
Mm-hmm.
you told me that. I didn't know that.
So what you were saying is and that's what they're trying to regulate. Exactly what you're talking about.
They are, and they're trying to build a lot
See,
more grids.
And
Cause
yes,
I,
they are.
you'll see like attorneys are doing like, of course that's part of their work. It's always been like energy, but like we need more energy. There will be more power grids being built, a lot more soon.
It's the future.
so this is how my brain thinks. I think everything that a human, and this isn't just like from me. This is Einstein kind of even says this. Like everything that humans can imagine is already exists. Like we just have to basically find a way to get it.
It's
Nothing's new.
like
So
manifesting.
Nothing's new under the sun. A
yes.
manifestation, correct? Yeah.
So you telling me that we have this capability to come up with all this stuff, but we can't power it? Like it's so who's gonna be the Einstein of our generation or the future that's gonna like, hey, this is the power. We never need anything else. This is unlimited power in this thing. Do you think we even close to that?
No. Well, maybe.
If they did actually steal Tesla's patents and they do actually have unlimited energy and they're only using this in order to have this monetized, fixed, kind of conundrum of us being in it, That's as conspiratorial as I can go with.
If they've made it, do you think they would even give it to us normal motherfuckers yet?
Why?
No, not until they figure out how to capitalize it. They don't give us nothing until they figure out how they can charge us for it.
That is true too. If that's the other side of my conspiratorial coin is that no, we haven't figured it out. So you're not getting it until we do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering. I got one more. This one's like it's like this Facebook post. I thought that this person that posted it came up with this, but they didn't because I seen it somewhere else. But it's a good post, so I'm gonna just read it and y'all can tell me what y'all think.
Shout out all our reposters.
Are we noticing that nothing actually exists anymore? Like, seriously, physical stores are vanishing, everything's behind a subscription. You don't own anything, you rent access, you can't play games without internet, you can't tell if a piece of art was made by a person or an algorithm. Even relationships we see feel digitized, curated, filtered, or temporary. Everything is content, everything is an app, everything is a monthly payment. Everything feels like it could disappear tomorrow. It's like we're living in a version of reality that's constantly buffering. Things are here but not really here, and it's all well designed illusion, and no one's talking about how deeply disorienting that actually is.
I agree. I live that. I feel like I live that all the time.
Nothing is feels real anymore.
I don't have no music on the CD of ours, even though we've made like 400 songs. I don't. We don't have no recordings. I do. I have a backup hard drive, but I need a computer in order to play it. I don't have any photos. Like I have. Like
iCloud.
I have iCloud. I have what's the uh, picture frame where it's a Bluetooth picture frame. So now I don't have
Yeah.
rope and stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
And
So we're a
everything
solar
that you
flare.
actually own that's physical is super expensive. Like a house or a car or whatever that you actually buy and own, expensive.
And cheap at the same time. More
Made
expensive, but made cheaply.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
so we've already peaked. Like when people say like 99, 2000, like we've already peaked. Like from the standpoint of creators aren't creating anything new anymore. Everything's a remake. Things that are new aren't good anymore in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good original ideas. Like like cars were made the best. They weren't like the most efficient, nor were they the most. I don't know what the word is, but eco-friendly. But
Mm-hmm.
they ran forever. You know what I'm saying? And just shit like that, where it's like these homes are homes that we're building today in apartments and affordable. That's not good structural in
But
comparison.
yeah, they'll blow over in the wind.
Right, exactly. Or they'll catch on fire and the whole thing catch on fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
just shit like that where it's like, have we?
Yeah. But it also just reminds me of like the age of Aquarius in astrology. Like the age of Aquarius is a time of technology advancements. It's also a time of rebellion and war.
Mm.
Um, and the truth coming out, especially about people we idolize, like politicians or famous people. So it kind of reminds me of that too.
In that same breath, is the celebrity dead because of what we're talking about with AI coming along? Things like,
It's almost, I wouldn't say that, but they're exposed.
but then that's going to push us, but are you scared that's going to push us to liking AI because we don't like we can't trust the like we can't trust anyone from Trump and back.
We already there. Like an AI, like we're already there. Like
I use
it's like we're
AI every day.
curious.
But do you
That's what
think,
I'm saying. We're curious, so you just got to keep going. Like,
because I'm like, is that a ploy to push us to AI to
I think
not
it's
I don't
a
even think they.
ploy.
not liking each other?
I don't even think they'd have to trick us into it. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, I don't think it's a
That's
ploy.
the
crazy.
curious mind of a human would,
That's
if
crazy.
you
So
put
we've
me in a
opened
room with
Pandora's
this,
box.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't think they
yeah,
have to push us to it because like I think we are on the like front end of it because it's like big business owners or capitalists like they're almost pushing us out because it's like hey, I can be more efficient and not have to pay a whole bunch of people and use AI. So we're pretty much in competition with AI right now.
Mm.
So I'm like, all right, I need to pursue something that is a field that AI cannot replace. Like that's where we're coming in. Like we're in competition with AI as
As we
people,
speak, as we speak,
as
And you know what's
employees.
messed up? We're giving them their information. Like they're
we're
Yeah.
giving them the
Oh
content,
yeah.
ability to take over,
content. Like
Mhm.
that's how they
Mhm.
learn. And
alchemize themselves and shit.
Mhm. It's like
like I really,
we're feeding the systems that are eventually going to kick us out of our jobs.
yeah,
Like, okay.
Oh wow, I don't even know. We cooked. That's what I hear. All
right.
I hear is we cooked. We are cooked. I smell something cooking. I just don't know what it is, and it's me.
Is
It's your
is this how is it? Is this how they felt generations ago? They'd be like, "Oh, that'll be my grandchildren's problem." Shit,
for
you know what I
real.
mean?
I don't know what problem my grandkids are gonna have because we
That's
got
what I
all
be
of
thinking
them.
too. I'm like, damn, if these are my
Exactly.
problems, nigga,
Right.
you're gonna be player one, nigga. You're gonna be nigga
For
Robo
real.
Robo Mark, nigga. Robo
Like
Millie, nigga.
I don't know. It's a lot.
Is that
It's a
it on
lot.
your
Yeah, that's all I got. Neuralink, DARPA,
and
everything's fake.
back? All right.
Mm-mm.
So we're gonna finish off with a travel extraordinaire herself. I guess I gotta hold on. I do got a couple cultural things real quick. Did you graduate with Jair Alexander, or did you just go to school with?
I don't know if we graduated together. I think we
Him?
definitely were there at the same time, but I he might have been a year ahead of me, maybe.
So we always drag Megan along to go to Pittsburgh Steelers events with us, and now he's a Baltimore Ravens. So how do you feel? You think that the Steelers are cooked this year? You think it's the Ravens' year? You going with Jair and
Look,
Lamar?
I think the Steelers were cooked based off of their trades.
No.
Like, I don't think I'm always like, I have a lot of love for Jair and Lamar, and I'm happy that they're back together, but I think the Steelers cooked themselves. I hate to say it.
So we AI'd ourselves.
I mean, after I heard Aaron Rodgers, that's all I needed to know.
A
I'm
nigga told me
sorry.
week.
I'm sorry.
No, no, I agree. It just makes me sad.
A nigga told me this week, you got a dinosaur for a quarterback. What makes you think you doing anything?
You got a fossil,
You got
nigga.
that's what I said. That's the same thing I said.
Not a dinosaur.
He said, nigga, you got a trilobite, nigga.
We went to see Jurassic today too.
Did y'all?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Didn't it have like a
And
nigga in it, Idris or somebody?
it was Marshallamo.
Oh, like, why did I do that?
Mar-
I sound like a white person. Isn't that Idris?
right.
Nigga, that's Marshall. That's Marla, nigga. That's Marla.
Mahershala Ali, yeah.
That's crazy. Right. Oops. Sorry, Marcus. Your black card is on standby. All right. How'd you meet Tiffany Haddish? Tell us that story. Well, she said it right.
I know. I was like, thank you.
No
But
S. No
on
McNeil.
behalf of Damo,
On behalf of Damo, we send him. We send him.
What?
That nigga hates black people putting. We'll send you the clip. We'll send you the clip.
yeah, it was.
Anyway, so I met Meek Mill when I was in Miami. I tried to meet him,
You
but
ran into him
I
as you.
ran into him.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I've seen Young and May in Miami to
I
Ocean
thought Young and
Drive,
May. Love him, Young and May.
and then so I met Tiffany Haddish because me and my friend, she lived there at the time. We went to Red Rooster, which is this black owned restaurant, like really famous chef. The food was amazing. And we was just like sitting there and we were like, these people look nice. Like they look like they got money. And it was so then we saw and then I was like, is that Tiffany Haddish? And it was. And she sat down. She was really cool. She was really nice, really approachable. And like I bet my friend, I was like, you're not gonna go over there and talk to her. And she was like, but I won't. So she went over there and she was like, oh, Tiffany, like, I'm sorry to interrupt. And Tiffany was like, no, you not. I know you want a picture. Here, come on, boo, let's go. And she was just hilarious. Like,
What?
yeah, that personality is real. It's real. So
Okay.
she was nice about it. She was funny about it. So met her and then I was at a conference and like the whole Cavaliers team was there. So I got to meet Donovan Mitchell and like the Cavs team too. They were just staying at the same hotel as the conference. So it feels like every time I'm in Florida, I don't know, just run into some famous people who, but I mean, it's Florida. So
That's what I was about to
it's
say.
always popping. Yeah,
It is down there, boy. Look at that,
I
Tiffany.
know.
I gotta put the picture up there during the. I had to put that
Yeah,
in.
she was, I have to,
I think I
yeah,
still
we
Got the
took a
picture?
couple.
I still have it of her
Hmm.
with Tiffany and her friend. She got her tongue out. That's why I remember it.
We took a couple, but yeah, she was real cool. She was real nice, and like she was that funny person like that we see on TV in person.
Yeah. Let's see. Travel questions. What we have before we get off here. What's the most memorable country you visited?
Well, definitely Cuba. It was crazy. I would say it was most memorable, like the whole spirituality there, like Santeria, and like it's real. Like it's really real. It's also a very black country. Fun fact, in order to get like a passport to leave, you have to prove Spanish descent. So you have to prove your whiteness to leave Cuba to this day. Yes, to this day. So it's actually a very black country. Also interesting to see all the history that we're not taught and all the things we do internationally that is not taught to us in history class. And it was just hard. It was hard. It was difficult too to see like they're very friendly people. They're very homey. They're very nice, they're very humble, and they make the most out of what they have. But it's also sad to see their history and, like, how they revolted because a lot of other owners from other countries was buying up their land, and they've had certain leaders that revolted. And it's a double-edged sword because you see like how we in other countries have blocked their resources so they're really poor, and it's also like you also see, the way that information spreads is a lot of times through encrypted apps like WhatsApp because they're also heavily monitored.
Mm.
So it was just one of those experiences where it wasn't easy. There were days where like trucks had to come and put water in the ground so like the residents could take showers and cook and all of that. Like it was, you go to the store and there was cereal but not milk, or it was like just kind of half empty. And but the people were amazing, the studies were really good. So it was one of those places that like change your life.
Hmm. I was gonna say South African immigration policies is what I'm hearing. So we only get the white Cubans?
Yeah, and that's why they vote like that.
What?
uh,
That's why when people you look at who votes which way and what
yep.
group votes which way, like, no, we don't
Talking to
only
you,
get the
Dan
white Cuban.
Levitard and Poppy.
I misspoke. We don't only get them
Yeah, right,
because like there are people who still immigrate here under different
right. Under different,
circumstances.
right. That's what I was about to say. Right.
They find a way, okay?
There's a will,
Like
there's a way.
they find a way to try to build a better life, but like, in order to get a passport and to leave Cuba, like you have to prove you're a descendant of the Spanish.
Damn, that's crazy. Boy, and the Spanish hated niggas. No, just want to keep it a buck.
I like how you said it in past tense.
Yikes. And that's where you failed, young brother. You thought it was
Nah,
finished.
nah, just all jokes.
You thought it was
Wink,
finished.
wink, nudge, nudge, all jokes.
Right. He said, vosotros, no nosotros.
Right.
Yes, wow.
Hey, I know a little bit.
Right, you know that.
Right.
So
That's
that
crazy.
was, yeah, so that was crazy. But it was interesting to see like and learn just like a lot how our cultures are similar to like how, Afro Cubans and a lot of Afro Latinos carry a lot of the musical influence and cultural influence, and the way that like rap is criticized is the same way that like reggaeton is criticized.
Hmm.
And just like Yeah, and just how our people is very similar like throughout the diaspora. And I would walk around and they'd be like, oh, so they didn't really I blended in honestly, and we would all blend in if we was there. But it's really good people, really good people. It was a learning experience, but it was worth it.
Now, did they teach you that Bad Bunny is true trap down there, or was that Barranquilla? Look at besides.
Cuz, bro, I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, "Excuse me."
Megan told me the same thing. I thought I see when you said it. No, it was one. I think Megan may have said it first, and then you said it, and I was like, "Damn, Megan wasn't lying. Niggas really out here
It's
saying."
like a real thing. No, yeah, somebody said. I was like,
Yeah.
"What? That's the
Yeah.
real trap shit." Get it? I'm
No,
sorry.
that was in Colombia. I went and they were like, "Oh, I listened to they were like, "Oh, trap music." And I was like, "Do you even know what trap music is? Like, do you know what real trap music is?" Like they and it's funny cuz they'll call it trap music too and they'll use it and I'm like, "You
That's
don't know
crazy.
who the OG, you don't know who the
You
OGG
don't
trap
even
is."
know,
Like, yeah,
like
like
he'll pass you on the
I'm the
street, you wouldn't
barrios,
even
like,
know it.
okay.
Right?
So,
That's
yeah, they
they
really be
probably
like, "Oh,
like it started in the
I
barrios.
was like, you listen to trap? Let me hear." I was like, this ain't trap.
Right. Yes.
See, I ain't just down there catching the vibe. I ain't about to burst y'all little bubble,
No,
but
but it was funny too, cause like just being in Colombia, there was a guy who was really into making music and like all of that. He was like, "You're like a real black girl." I was like, "What's a real black girl?" He was like the girls in Kendrick's video. I was like,
what?
Whoa!
I mean, like,
That was
yeah,
back.
but no.
That was back when Kendrick's Women was controversial. Remember that shit was like
It
he
was
was
like
doing.
2019.
Yeah, I just remember for
We
some reason.
talking about like humble?
Yeah, like DNA humble after all that shit, and remember the women. It was like a controversy with the women.
I mean, he says it. He's like, I want real girls.
Yeah.
Like, don't give me the fake shit.
Yep,
So I guess that dude was like, this is one of them.
it's one of them.
Like,
Ain't it?
what?
Yeah.
I mean it's true. They be having them BBLs. Hey, Latin. Let me slow down because there be that there's a reason it's called Brazilian butt lift.
Right.
It be everyday people, everyday women. I just be like,
That is kind of crazy. Because then I be
yeah,
seeing them in my community. I'm off pop,
yeah,
so I be seeing them. I be like,
every
I be
day.
thinking the same thing. Like the BBL rate is a little higher in your community.
It is
A little,
everyday bitches, everyday bitches.
right,
That's
right,
what.
right, right, right. It just be like the
Like
the
it's a
nigga own
thing.
like she's with the nigga who like owns the car wash. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes,
it don't be like what I'm saying. It's like it's
yeah.
nothing, and she's
yes,
not anything like no offense, but it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
she's regular chick. You know what I'm saying? Just like she's saying, just
yeah. I think too. Oh, I went out for a second. I think too. One of the coolest things in Cuba, there were things that really stuck out. Like being there, they had a club called La Fábrica de Arte, and it was an art museum. But
what?
it was a club,
Oh, it's hard.
and
21.
but
Y'all
it
slip.
was huge. Like when I tell you, each room had a different DJ. There was at least like 20 rooms, at least. Yeah.
Louisville
That's
needs
amazing.
Louisville needs some Castanite streamer DJ set deal going on. I'm trying to.
Look,
Hey,
Hey,
that's amazing. That
you give me at least 5 DJs. I'm sliding.
that's
it was
yeah.
fire. And I saw like a live rap group there, like a black rap group. They were fire. So that was pretty dope going there. And then
Need to
I
go.
took boxing and
Oh,
lessons with
a
like
world.
a world fighter, and he has like there's a special on him on Vice TV, and he was like hardcore. Like it was this gym in an elementary school, and then there's just these grown men going straight at it, just like fighting for real. And it was felt like something out of a movie, but that was pretty dope too.
What about y'all's your fair experience?
Oh, that was crazy. They have like a huge book fair we went to in the summer, and it was like it was huge. A lot of people went. As big as like what would be like the state fair, but just for books. So that was pretty awesome. They had rides.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend like imagine turning a Tark bus and putting it on a state fair ride. That's
You
exactly
know,
what it was.
the pirate ship how it rocks back and forth.
Yeah.
There
Imagine
was
doing
no
that with
ship,
a
it was
cart.
a Tark
What it?
with no seatbelts. With no
Hey,
seatbelts. How you gonna have a school bus and take the seatbelts out?
I might get on that. I
I
like the
did. And I bumped my head.
damn.
I felt like Humpty Dumpty on it. But I'm surprised I didn't walk out with a concussion. But it was
Right.
fun. I'm glad I did it, but I did not do it again.
I was
That's
like, I wouldn't recommend it, but I did it.
that's
It's fun. A little brain damage, a little brain
Right.
damage don't
A little
hurt.
seat.
A little
Speaking of
TP.
old Brown. Right.
Are you a planner or do you like to see where the road takes you?
Yes. No, I'm a planner.
I was about to say, based on what I've heard, I was
I'm
gonna
a
say a
planner.
planner.
I love being organized, but also you gotta be careful too because like you'll stumble in some places. Like I'm not gonna lie, I stumbled into a brothel in Colombia. Like just
Colombian brothel sounds crazy. That sounds
Crazy.
crazy.
Ain't that
like
where they found Lamar? Lamar Odom?
look, we were.
Lamar Odom? Didn't they find
Justin
him in
It
a
Bieber
was.
too. I
Colombian?
thought Justin Bieber was found in a
I wouldn't be
Brazilian brothel.
surprised. I wouldn't be
I don't
surprised.
know.
It was.
BBLs lured him down there.
If
I
you
don't
walk
know.
into the club and everyone in there has a BBL, you're at a brothel.
Okay, okay, okay.
Like
Keep that in mind.
like I walk in and there's 50 women, 2 men, and every woman in here has a BBL. And you're all from Venezuela? Like
Oh, that's what gave it
and
away.
that's and that
That's
and
what gave
yeah, and that's when the conflict was going on too. So like not cool, not cool,
Right.
not cool, no.
You talking about the Venezuelan gang shit?
Well, I think too, like I think at that time, like they were struggling with their water sources or just getting basic resources, and there was
some
a
with
lot
that
of immigration. Yeah, and there was a
government.
lot of immigration to Colombia, so it was interesting hearing like how they approach immigration, but like Venezuela was just having like a crisis, so Colombia's right there, so they had a influx of people, but it's sad, as a woman to see that occurring, but it's just you just stumble into the wrong place at the wrong time, and you walk into club and it's like, why am I not getting no attention, but like the guys are getting attention, and why does everyone in here have a BBL? I don't know.
Good
So
Lord, you
Mm.
delivered my sister safely from the trenches of Pablo
my
Escobar's
friend was like,
operation.
for real, my friend was like, we gotta go. I was like, okay, yeah, you're right, girl. Let's go. You go. And they was trying Cardi B, our male friends, but it's all right.
Woo!
Yeah,
Holy
crazy place.
shit.
Wrong.
There's you can find everywhere across the spectrum. Another highlight in Colombia was going to San Basilio de Palenque, which is like the first free town in all of the Americas. So like the
Mm,
first like slave haven and town where a lot of slaves ran away to be free. So that was pretty awesome too, because now it's like an exclusively black town. And so we went there, which was just like really, really cool to see. And it was a safe haven too I want to say sometime in like the 1600s, so really early on. So that was awesome.
that's crazy.
hmm There's a lot of Black history in Latin America that people don't know about because most of the slaves actually went there from Africa and not to the United States. So we have brothers and sisters going through the same thing everywhere.
That's one thing I was always pretty consistent on when the black community was getting mad at the voting habits of our Latinx community. And I was like, hey man, y'all gotta understand that they are us and we are them. Like for real.
Yeah.
And before we think of 17th and all that stuff. We've been mixing, bro. We've been like when you and then you start getting to indigenous tribes that were specifically. It was definitely a mix. What are you talking? They were. That's we took land from them. That's us. We them.
They're almost like we think being Latino or Hispanic is a race, and race is a social construct. So
Right.
people in Latin America are often a mix, or they could be exclusive, but like you have the indigenous people who live there, you had the Spaniards, or not really Spaniards, but just European people who came and colonized, and then you have the slaves that were brought over. Like they're honestly a mix of a lot of different races, but in America we see them as one race, and that's not true.
And that's something that gets perpetuated. It's I don't know. It's weird.
It's hard for us to understand in this country because we think races are colors, and that's not a thing.
Yeah, and it's weird because I guess we get that construct from like, all right, so when it's white people's turn, they're all different, but then they all team up and they're all white. So Italian and Polish and this and that. But then black people, when it comes to us, we're all still separated still.
Mm,
Where it's like we have if that concept same concept applied to us, nigga, we everywhere. And that's like to open your mind up as a black person to understand, how do I see the black people in Laos and Thailand? How do I see the black people in, that I don't know, it kind of fortifies your thought. And then maybe understanding why these places are treated all
yeah.
universally the same, from Haiti to
Yep.
Vietnam to how and why they're attacked in the fashion
Hmm.
that they're attacked in or treated.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. You got a favorite food that stands out from your travels?
Ooh. Oh my God. So like in Colombia, I gained 10 pounds when I was in Colombia. I ate great. Food was amazing. They had like tres leches. They had cuatro leches.
I love church. Oh my
They
god.
have cuatro leches. I was like, I ain't never heard of
Quattro
this.
pita, me either.
So that was fire. They had salchipapa. That's my favorite, with a postbon de uva, like a little grape soda with like a loaded fry. And they would put like it would be loaded fries and then some meat. It could be steak, it could be sausage. And then they like put cheese and like crushed up Lay's potatoes. And the Lay's potatoes, that was the
Hey,
one. That was the
hey, what I tell
They
you?
close, too close, man.
You
You too
too
close.
close. I was just telling them. I be doing that to my stuff.
Yeah, that was like okay. So that was like when I go back, I have to have that fire. Um, I love like their street food. Like they have paparina, which is like a stuffed. It was like a fried
Pepper?
potato,
Oh, potato. Okay.
like a stuffed fried potato. Fire.
A stuffed fried potato.
And it could have like cheese and meat in it and the potato, and then it's a big ball that they fry. It was fire.
Your shit died on you, didn't it?
By my headphones.
Yep. And last question was, do you have a souvenir, a favorite souvenir from your travels?
That's hard.
Or maybe just a couple, if you can't choose one.
I have a lot of different stuff, like just stuff that I've bought around the way. I like personalized fans, and I wish I was at home so I could like show any. But I have some artwork too from some local vendors that were there. So that's pretty cool to always bring back.
Oh yeah, the local art. Well, you just have to jump on to see your stuff. What
Yeah.
else? You got something you want to shout out before we slide off?
Actually, no, I like to live behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
You are now officially inducted into the odd community.
All right. Yep.
So I've been there my whole life.
You ain't have to
Always
tell
been a
me.
little
You
odd.
just have to send me the sweatshirt.
I've
Where
been
you been at? Where you been at?
Exactly. I've been them pulled up.
Been them pulled up.
I've been on.
DD. All right, bet. Appreciate it.